Hi, welcome to the second coming of unbelief. Some people seem to think that the Gospels were written by disciples of Jesus, or at least by people that were closely associated, personally associated with disciples or apostles. There was, according to the story, a disciple named Matthew, a disciple named John. Mark is assumed to have been a companion of Peter, and in Acts, Luke uses the word we, and so it is assumed that Luke was a traveling companion of Paul. Now, Mark's was the earliest gospel, and it was, long after, decades later, that it was attributed to Mark. So Luke's was the third gospel, and Luke had absolutely no knowledge whatsoever about anything interior in the area of Palestine. There's evidence that he knew something about the Levantine coast, Caesarea, Joppa, Tyre, and Sidon. He probably knew about that, but he didn't have any idea what existed in the interior of Palestine. He never went. So there's a story in Luke at the beginning of Jesus' ministry where he stands up and reads in the synagogue from a scroll, and the listeners get angry and want to throw him off a cliff. Well, so there's some problems here. First, how many people is required for it to be considered a town or a city? As archaeologists have dug in the area that is called Nazareth, and there are maybe 10 or 15 houses. That's I wouldn't consider that to be a city. It's not like there's streets. B, there never was a synagogue. There never has been a synagogue unearthed by archaeologists. C, there are no cliffs near the area that we know as Nazareth. No, it would be impossible to throw Jesus off a cliff. So that story is completely made up. Another thing, there is a town called Emmaus. It is south of Jerusalem. I believe south. Um, and the distance is actually about 17 miles, not the 5 miles or 7 miles that it is commonly assumed to be. That story either, and that story just didn't happen. Okay, now, excuse me. When we come to the book of Acts, now Luke does have knowledge of the Levantine coast, where the cities are. He has knowledge of the Anatolian Peninsula. He has knowledge of the Aegean Sea. Those places and distances existed, and he has them accurately. Excuse me. But when he wrote his gospel, he had made stuff up. Never happened that way. He needed a story to bolster his ideology. Whoever it was that wrote Luke, whoever it was, we don't even know who wrote it. So the person that wrote Luke needed a backstory, and so he wrote one down. Anyway, that's it for today. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching Second Coming of Unbelief. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.